Hi guys, this is Donnie with your Smart Licensing Short. In this demo, I'm going to show you how to register a Cisco Cloud Services 1000V router to your Cisco Smart Software Manager on-prem license server. The quick checklist for this is we need our on-prem license server set up, configured, and ready to go. We also want our product set up and pre-configured for connectivity, as we will not be covering this in the demo. We will be covering a couple of things that we'll need to look at. One is the crypto PKI trust point, SLA trust point. We need to set revocation check to none. This is because the certificates that are used in the Smart Licensing Exchange to establish trust for smart licensing does not have a revocation check list. So that's not in effect. We want to disable that to prevent problems. The other thing we're going to look at is the call home profile, Cisco TAC1, and we're going to change the destination from pointing to Cisco over to our on-prem license server. We're then going to register our Smart Software Manager on-prem. We're going to register our product to it. All right, with our checklist in place, let's head on to the demo. Alrighty, so I've got my on-prem server in my browser. I've got a telnet session over to my CSR 1000V, and in Notepad, I've got my commands typed out just to cut down on the amount of typing. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is go to our CSR 1000V and go ahead and take care of that revocation check. So let's go ahead and enter config mode. Well, now I'm just going to cut and paste these commands in. Again, we're only impacting the trust point for Smart License, not your other trust points. And let's go ahead and exit out. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to modify our call home configuration from pointing to Cisco so that it points over our on-prem server. So to look at that, I'm just going to show you what it looks like real quick. There's a lot of stuff in here, but really the only thing that we care about is the destination, which is hidden because it's the default pointing to Cisco, but it'll be the destination address HTTP that will be here in the TAC1. The other values in here around your contact email address here, don't touch these, don't change these. This is just an indication to the call home servers that this is not Smart Call Home, but instead Smart Licensing to direct the Smart License message on over to the Smart Licensing servers. One of the common questions I get is, do I have to run Call Home? No, you're not actually doing call home. You're only utilizing the call home transport protocol to deliver the message to Cisco, and the contact email address here is just a flag to that server to say this is not call home. Instead, this is Smart License. All right, so with that explanation, let's go back into config mode. First thing we're going to do is go to call home. Now we're going to get into our profile Cisco TAC1. Now that we're in our profile, I'm going to go ahead and grab this command down here and copy and paste it in just to cut down on some typing. Now what this did is it removed the URL for Cisco. To show you that, let's go ahead and do show run. We're going to pipe this into section call home. And as you can see, there's now this new destination address tools.cisco.com, which is the default that I've removed. Now what I'm going to do is I want to go ahead and set the destination HTTP over to my on-prem server. So to do that, I'm going to head on over to my server. I'm going to go to my Smart Licensing tab here, and let's go in. And now I want to go to inventory. So now that I'm in inventory, right down here are my URLs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Smart Call Home Registration URL, which is this value right here. I'm going to copy this value, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to paste it in. This is by far the easiest way to handle it. Now I've changed my router to send its registration and license information over to my on-prem server. So let's go ahead and drop on out. Just as a quick look, let's make sure it happens. Sure enough, I'm pointing over to my on-prem server. Remember, this portion is your host common name. In my case, I'm using an IP address, but it could be an FQDN for you if you're using DNS. All right, at this point, I'm ready to register my router. To do this, I want to do now notice I'm at the exec level. I want to do the license, smart, register, ID token. Now, the ID token is simply the virtual account identifier. It's the place we're going to report to. So once I get this token from here, the product instance will show up over here. And the license consumption will show in here. So let's go ahead and grab. I do have a token that is valid. If I didn't, I would create a new one. But since I already have one, let's just copy it. Now I'm going to come back over to my router window, and I'm going to paste that token in. When I hit return, I'll notice that the process is going on, and I can do a show license status if I want to see what my license status is. So let's go ahead and end the configuration mode, and let's take a look at, oops, got a quote in there. Let me take that out, and let's look. So my status is already registered. I'm registered to demo, and if you look, that's over here in my on-prem license server. So I'm registered to demo. I did succeed, and I've got my last communication information here. So I'm already registered. So let's find out. Let's go over here to my product instance tab. Sure enough, here's my router. It's the CSR 1000V. So what license am I using? Well, right here, I noticed that while I had some license, notice right here I have insufficient license. I'm -1. Remember that smart license is about inventory. What do you have in your inventory? What are you using, and then what's left. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer a license from Cisco, from my default Cisco virtual account over to my demo Cisco virtual account, and then synchronize it down. All right, so I've got my license transferred over. So now let's head up here to the admin workspace, and let's go to the synchronization widget. And here, I'm going to go ahead and under Actions, I'm going to go ahead and do a standard synchronization now. Now, the synchronization is in process by this spinning wheel. It tells you it's in process. And what's happening is my on-prem server is reaching out to my Cisco virtual account demo and pulling down the updated license information from where I transferred it. When I go back to my license space after this is completed, I'll be able to see that new license show up. So let's go over here. Let's go ahead and refresh our page to see if it's already down. Let's look at our inventory under our license. Sure enough, we've got our extra license showing up in use, but the synchronization hasn't completed just yet. And again, our product instances, if I come into the product instance and I look at my event log, I can see that there's no activity right now, but I did have the registration date and the last contact in the license that are in use. I could remove this product if I wanted to, and say, for example, you had an RMA situation. All right, so let's go back. Let's refresh one more. Oh, there it is. As you see, here's my CSR 1KV. The synchronization is finished. I have purchased one, which means I have one available. I am in use one. As you can see, my balance is now 0, and I no longer have my out of compliance. If I come over here back to my router and I do a show status again, now we can see the status is out of compliance. It'll check in about 15 minutes, and it'll find out that everything's cool. I can go ahead and do a license, smart, auth, renew if I want to. Sorry about that, got that command backwards, so let's try renew auth. Nice thing about question marks is it always helps you find out when you get your commands backwards. I'm going to go ahead and do the auth renew. What this does is it basically signals the Cisco router to go ahead and send up a renew to the on-prem license server to check to see if the license are now back in. So let's go ahead and look at my status. And in fact, my status has changed to authorized. My last communication, of course, succeeded. And we are now registered and authorized with the license here, my product instance showing up here, the license that it's using showing up here. With that, we've completed the demonstration of how to register and report license from a Cisco Cloud Services router over to my Smart Software Manager on-prem license server. Thank you for watching the video, and stay safe.